Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing season 6 of Dancemoms. I've reviewed the 5 previous seasons on my channel. I'll link it at the end and below if you guys would like to watch it. And let's just get into it. I go episode by episode for these. So first up, it was a No Moms Allowed, which is basically Girl Talk, which is basically a repackaged reunion. They always do this at the beginning of every season. I hate it, but I digress. And so basically, they get asked about season 5 nationals and them losing and all those things, and they basically felt like they had to leave whenever Abby asked them to, because it just is what it is, and like how controlling that she is. And they basically said the loss, like, it is what it is. They did the best that they could do and whatever. And so they did their own dance at the reunion. I thought it was okay. I didn't really go up for it. And then they showed this bonus clip of Abby reacting to Nia's video, which Abby was just so rude about it. Like, really, you can't ever be happy for any of your students. Nia performed her song Slay, and they talk about this dance that they did on The View for some child who, I believe she had like a medical condition or something like that. So they talk about it. They show the performance and all that stuff. So they had that. And then they did show JoJo solo that she did for her grandmother. They talked about that. And Mackenzie ate, saying that someone always dies in the group dance, and then she literally said the order that everyone dies in, and it was so accurate, exactly. And then they performed the Always a Bridesmaid dance that they did for season 5. One thing that drives me crazy in these new like Girl Talk reunions, I wish that if you're gonna perform, just change into the costume that you did for the group dance originally. It just throws me off seeing them just rather regular attire and like performing it. And so yeah, that's like kind of my thoughts there. But that was like, that kind of moment. Now onto the first official episode. I don't know why Jill thought that Kendall would take Maddie's place. Like I said before, basically it does a disservice to Maddie and Kendall, because Kendall can just never live up to that. They're two different kinds of dancers. They have two different strengths. So I just thought that it was stupid of her to say that and everything. And so like we have to be realistic. How many times has it been, oh, are you going to challenge Maddie or live up to Maddie? And how many times have we seen that not happen? And that's no shade, but I think that Jill's just unrealistic, and I think she's unrealistic with Kendall in general. Like, I just feel like her and Kendall kind of had different goals, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of my thoughts there. Melissa announces that she took temporary guardianship over Kalani because Kira had her son. So she was in Arizona taking care of her son and like family there. And then, Melissa took guardianship over Kalani for a few months. In this season, Abby says that there's going to be a moratorium on extra opportunities like acting jobs and stuff like that, which is just so stupid because you guys literally went to LA for this. So now all of a sudden, oh, we can't do any extra opportunities. So, I mean, that was just stupid. And it basically said that. And Jill was talking about, oh, I turned down opportunities this summer because Abby didn't want Kendall to do them. It's like, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, imagine having to be at Abby's beck and call and taking her seriously and not taking opportunities for your child. Like, who knows where Kendall would be if you would have just like done your own thing. Like, I thought that was so stupid, and it didn't pay off for her in the end. And Abby brings back Brynn, and it was just annoying. I think Jill said this, or one of the moms said this, talking about it's a slap in the face to Kendall. Be for real. And then whenever talking about, oh, we've been here for 6 years, Jill and Kendall had not been there for 6 years at that point. I'm pretty sure it was like Jill that's saying that, or something like that, because they didn't join until season 2. So this was what, like their 4th or 5th year on the show. So you guys weren't even there for 6 years. You guys technically weren't there from the beginning. And so Jill and Kendall leave temporarily, I think because they got into some argument with Abby or something like that. And so that's something there. And then I think she said something like Kendall worked too hard to be number 2, which, I mean, let's be serious. Out of that cast, Kendall was not giving number 2. I would say Kalani was probably like the best dancer objectively. If we have to have a number 2 to Maddie, it would be Kalani. So we have to be serious with ourselves. Like, the dancers changed and everything changed. And like I said, even when Chloe was on the team, Kendall was still not number 2 then. And yeah, so it's just my opinion there, just in terms of the dancing. And so Maddie is gone filming a movie at the beginning of the season, and then, she FaceTimes them and they catch up, and then Abby talks to Kendall and tells her that she doesn't think that she works hard enough, and, Jill felt away about that, I think, and Jill says that she's not going to listen to Abby anymore, and that if there's an opportunity for Kendall that she thinks is right, she's going to start taking new opportunities. And then Kalani said that she wasn't going to be at the competition, basically, because her father's wedding was there, but she would be there for rehearsal. Maddie does meet them at the competition, and this is a theme this season, but I cannot stand, oh, my daughter's going to be the next Maddie. Every mother says that. A dancer like Maddie is an anomaly because of her talent, because of how hard she works, and her musicality, and just being in the right place at the right time. And so I don't know why all these moms think that it's just so easy to recreate the next Maddie. A lot of times whenever someone creates a big star, they're not going to do it again. It's a lightning in a bottle type situation. So all these moms talking about my daughter's going to be the next Maddie, they say it a billion times a season. It is so annoying to me. Give it up. Let your daughter be your daughter. Stop comparing her to Maddie. Like, that puts a huge, strain on that moment, and it's just so irritating to me. So it's just, I hate it. And then they go against BDA. Gavin does his solo to come back. I hated the song and the choreography. Brynn does the coronation. It was okay. I didn't really go for it. A lot of times whenever Abby choreographed solos for Brynn, I just thought that they were mediocre. I just felt like she could do a lot more than what Abby gave her. A lot of times I hated the song, I hated the choreography, and it just did a disservice to her as a dancer, so I just don't really go for her choreography for Brynn. The group dance this week was the girl in the plastic bubble, and JoJo was the one in the bubble. It was a good group dance. I liked it for what it was. BDA does their version of the waiting room, and so at first it looked like they got disqualified because it took forever to put up the chairs, but then they got points off. I thought that the dance was mid. A lot of people don't really go up for Abby's version of the waiting room, but it's actually like one of my favorite group dances. So, I mean, I liked Abby's version. I didn't really care for the BDA version. Gavin from BDA gets second with his solo. Brynn gets first. BDA, the waiting room, gets second. ALDC gets first. And Abby says something about she has shackles weighing her down. I guess she's just kind of talking about the lawsuit and everything she has to go through with that. But I mean, I thought it was a good season premiere, way better than season 5 premiere. Like I said, I hated that one. Now into episode 2. I don't know why Abby in a lot of these episodes takes forever to get ready for Pyramid. Like, it's not that serious. I don't know why Mackenzie was clapping for Maddie at the bottom of the pyramid. That was really funny to me. It was. And then Melissa starts standing up for Mackenzie at Pyramid. She has a few moments where she stands up for Mackenzie this season, which is nice to see, but I honestly feel like she started doing that and speaking her mind more because, like, she already kissed Abby's ass enough to the point where Maddie got her opportunities, Mackenzie got her opportunities. She knew that they were leaving the show because, she had nothing to lose at that point, basically. So that's why she started, like, standing up for herself more. So I could appreciate it, but at the same time, like, you have to put that out there. Abby tells him that she's going to be forming a new mini team and all those things. And then she was yelling at one of the kids, and she was talking about she found a new victim to yell at, like, be for real. And then the moms talk about on GMA how, like, Abby was announced that she had, like, charges with, like, concealing assets and frauds and all that stuff. And then they're talking to Abby, and Jill referenced the news, and Abby was mad about that. And then Nia gets assigned her solo, and this is the one where she's kind of trying to do Cookie from Empire. And then Abby tells Nia to twerk for the solo. Like, be for real. Why would you think that she would do that? Like, that is so inappropriate. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And so, yeah, like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And then, I don't know why Abby was standing so close to Mackenzie doing her solo, and then she's wondering why she almost got kicked. You were literally standing right above her. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, she irritated me. And then she irritated me, too, because Mackenzie's quote was different from the actual title of the dance. I think she said something like, I just want to sit at home and eat chips, or something like that, and then the dance title was different, and then she was like, Mackenzie can't even remember her dance, and she was trying to correct her, and so was Melissa, and she just wasn't having it. Like, just go look up the clip, or production show her the clip. Like, I don't know why we're still arguing about it. I thought it was stupid, but I appreciate Melissa for standing up for her. The girls did the best to comfort her, and Melissa was like, oh, she better not come for me. I know so much stuff and all those things. And Abby was just really rude to Mackenzie. And then Jill annoys me. Kendall got this old looking makeup for her solo, which was a chop. And then she was upset about it. So Abby was like, you can take it off. And then the moms got mad because there's a lot of times their daughters had to do stuff like that and they didn't want to do it. But, they sucked it up. So they felt like she was kind of getting an easy break there. And then Nia's solo Cookie song knockoff, it was definitely giving me Bootylicious from Destiny's Child kind of vibe. I want to see audio swap to that. I thought it was okay. I think Nia's capable of more. And then this is the live critiques. Kendall does the meltdown. I didn't go up for it. Like I said, I don't go up for most of Kendall's solos on the show. That is just me. Mackenzie does. I just want to sit at home and eat chips. It was a fun solo. But it's funny how Abby says that, oh, she's so immature and blah, blah, blah. But then you give her this solo. Like, if you want her to be mature, then give her more mature solos instead of the same average solos. And I like most of Mackenzie's solos, but I'm just making a point. And then Jill and the moms talk to Abby, and they're like, you have to discuss with the kids what's going on. Like, what do we tell them? How do they answer it? And then Abby's just in denial about that. The group dance was Hungry Like the Wolves. It was mid to me, and then Kendall slipped in the group dance. Mackenzie got 4th, Kendall got 3rd, Nia got 2nd and teen. The group lost. And then Abby using the scores that they got to determine who got the solos and not the placement was so stupid to me. And Mackenzie even told Abby that the dance was too young for her. So I'm glad that this season, and as the girls get older, that they're standing up for themselves more, because Abby just did way too much on them. Like, she was always talking back, and I'm glad a lot of times they're like, you know what, I'm not going to take this anymore. I deserve better. And we're kind of putting her in her place more, because it's not something that would be expected. Now on to episode 3. So Holly's asking Abby how will she accommodate the minis, because she basically feels like the elite team barely gets any time. So, like, how are you going to deal with the minis and all that stuff? And then Abby blames the loss on the fact that they didn't have Maddie for the group dance. Rumor Noel comes in to choreograph the new group dance. The mini moms come in, And then JoJo's solo music was from the Light My Fire group that they did the recital in season 2, I believe, so that was funny to me. And then the mom's getting mad whenever Kendall was learning her solo, and then Brynn, she was not really that close to her at all. Like, there was definitely space. And then Jill was just so annoying, talking about she's in Kendall's way, and she's like, oh, I think if Brynn had a brain in her head, then she'd be all the way in the back. And they were just so mean to her. Like, all the way throughout the season, they are so mean to Brynn for no reason. And I'm just like, guys, like, why are we doing all this? You know, I'm sure there has to be some jealousy there, but that was just ridiculous for them to argue about. And then Jill talked about she was making a mockery of Kendall and all those things. And Abby was nice to the mini Peyton, and she asked her to sit and watch after, you know, they really wanted to leave the rehearsal. And then Jill literally yells at Brynn and, like, does all those things. And even Brynn was trying to correct her, like, no, like, I wasn't in her way. Like, I was trying to be off to the side. And she was, yeah, it was just annoying. And then she denied it. So she just annoyed me. And then she gives this fake apology to Ashley, which I know that she doesn't mean. Abby gets a call from her attorney, and they have that moment. Kendall's solo was all eyes on me. I thought it was mid. JoJo, I'll show you the dark side, mid. I don't really go for a whole lot of JoJo's solos on the show either, to be honest with you. The group dance straight out of Pittsburgh, I mean, it was good for what it is. I don't really think that they needed the guys in the routine. I mean, I thought it was fine for what it is, and they don't really do hip-hop that much, but, you know, it was one of their better hip-hop routines. JoJo gets seconds, Kendall gets first routine solo, and the group gets first. Now on to episode 4. So Abby's crying on the phone. She's probably talking to her attorney again. And she's living in the back of the studio. Maddie is back this week. And they send the mini moms to get Abby, which that was a setup, that was. But, you know, they wanted to get her, but they didn't want to have to deal with her. So they're like, oh, they're stupid enough to do it. So they send them over there. And then these guys come for Maddie's 17 magazine issue and all those things. And, you know, they're trying to find other girls to, like, put in there as well. And, of course, Abby gave her input on who she thinks should be on there. But ultimately ended up selecting Nia and Kendall. The producers, like, show what the pyramid is, but Abby doesn't really go over it from my memory. And then the moms talk about Ashley. They got an email that Abby is going to be resigning. Abby skips the competition. Maddie's solo is Bond Girl, and I appreciated this more over time. At first I saw it, I didn't really go for the solo, but, you know, as I saw it again at time 2, I'm like, you know, this is a really good solo. It's different from what Maddie typically does, and, you know, it was a good moment. Brynn's solo was She's Magic. Again, another setup. Like I say, if you get put up against Maddie, she's going to give you mediocre choreography. And half the time she was giving them mediocre choreography this season, just in general. The choreography season was so bad, but, you know, we'll get to that. And something that just annoys me is that they come for Brynn, and then whenever Ashley says something about their kid, they get mad. And so it's just annoying whenever Jill, like, later is talking about don't talk about the children when you keep talking about her child. Like, what do you expect to happen? Like, Jill is just so irritating this season. The group dance is the elites. I thought it was mid. Brynn got 4th. Maddie got 2nd. Mini group got 2nd. And the group got 1st in the teen category. Now on to episode 5. Nia's post on social media got a lot of hate of her demonstrating turns, so she was emotional over that. No pyramid this episode. No Abby and no Maddie. And I don't know why they started arguing about the duets. Like, that was just stupid to me. And all those things. And then for the group routine this week, the minis are with the elites. And I agreed with Kalani, what she said with her confessional, basically just saying, like, if it's hard enough for us to pick up this routine, then why would you throw the minis into it? Like, I just thought it was dumb to have, like, them all together in a routine. I think they should have separate routines. And I don't know why they didn't have access to the LA studio for a week. And so Nia and Kalani go to Debbie Allen's dance academy, and they go and, like, learn their duet that they have. And then she said that they could use her studio anytime. Melissa was against it. And the mini moms have drama, and I can't stand them. I really can't. Especially Alexis's mom. I think her name is Tiffany. Oh my god, she's the worst one. She's the worst one. Carey tries to leave, and the girls convince her to do the duet, and then the minis do Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And this is the same duet that Chloe and Asia did in season 3. And Abby just gets so lazy this season, because why are you redoing routines you already did? Like, let's be serious. Nia and Kalani had their Isolations duet. This was like an African duet. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. And that's when Aisha Francis was choreographing for them again. Brynn and Kendall have the Odd Couple duet, and it was just mid to me. I agreed with what Ashley said. She felt like Kendall could have played it up more, and yeah, definitely, because I feel like Brynn kind of overshadowed her in the duet, and of course the moms got mad at that, like, oh, why are you talking about Kendall, and blah, 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 but I mean, she didn't lie, I'm sorry. And then the group dance was Bollywood Dreams, and then, like I said, this was with the minis. It was just mid. It's no Bollywood and Vine, that's for sure. Mini duet got 1st, Brynn and Kendall got 3rd in the junior category, Nia and Kalani got 1st in teen, and the group got 1st. Now into episode 6. So Abby said she didn't even want to do the elite team anymore when she got asked about it by the moms, and she basically said it's not worth it to her, but it is worth it to the attorney, and that's kind of sad. Like, imagine your teacher doesn't even want to work with you anymore. No Maddie this episode, and Abby saying that Kalani was more African than Nia at the pyramid. Like, let's be for real. Like, that's very offensive to say. And then Lynn judging the elite moms is just irritating. It really is. I don't know what happened to Jill's voice in the confessionals and, like, just in, this episode. Probably she was yelling a lot and she probably strained it or something. And then for the solos, Alyssa, one of the minis, got a solo fever rising. I mean, I thought it was good for what it was. Lynn coming from Mackenzie, she did way too much. The mini group was Cavemen Undercover. It was okay, and the elite group was better off now. Bryn was the lead in this routine. I thought it was good. Alyssa got second, mini group got first, and the teen group got first. Now to episode 7. So they talked to Abby about her lawsuit. Maddie meets them in Phoenix to learn the group routine. And then they talk to the girls and tell them that Abby doesn't want them there, which is true. And they go to Debbie Allen's studio. And again, they're just talking down so much on Bryn. And Ashley, I really don't like her. I really don't. Her political opinions, and she just gets worse. I will say that. But, rewatching this season, they did too much on her most of the time. But the fact that Ashley tried to say that Kalani's not as good as she used to be and hate on Kalani, like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Like, I get they do too much on you, but coming for Kalani unprovoked, I didn't get it. And then Kira is back because they go to Arizona. Ashley and Kira argue because they tell her what she said about Kalani. And then this is the one where she was like, oh, pathetical isn't a word. Don't you have a master's degree? And apparently pathetical is a word. So there's that. And then Kira tries to leave, but the moms talk her down and, she ends up letting Kalani do her solo and stuff. Kalani's solo was Arizona Star. I thought it was good with the technique. I just hated the music and I don't really go for this solo. Kalani deserves a lot better solos on the show. I'm sorry. A lot of her solos, like, she could do harder choreography and needs better music. Bryn does Mystical Beauty. I thought it was mid. The group was well-oiled machine. I thought it was good for what it was. And Kalani gets first overall with her solo. Bryn didn't place. The group gets first. And Abby says that Bryn is on probation. I think it was because of Ashley. Now on to episode 8. Maddie is back. Abby comes back to the pyramid. And this is like the third time that Abby has done the 7 deadly sins concept. Because I think she did it in like season 1 was Sinful. And then I think she did it again in one of the other seasons. And now we're doing it again. Like, yeah, it's just annoying. And I'm glad that Holly called her out for doing that, because that's exactly what I thought. I don't know why Abby was in a towel at rehearsal, like, clean yourself up. And she was being so rude to Maddie as well, which I didn't care for. JoJo Mercy, her solo was mid. Mackenzie's solo was Don't Take My Fire. It was mid to me. Nia had Money Makes the World Go Down. It was just so immature for her age. I'm just like, why is this so elementary? Like, Nia can do more, and she deserved a better solo. The group, like I said, 7 Deadly Sins. I thought it was good, but Abby needs to stop reusing stuff, because in one of her, like, interviews, she was like, I never run out of ideas. Clearly you are if you keep doing the same thing. And I'm surprised that JoJo got, like, a whole part in that moment. JoJo got third, Mackenzie got first, Nia got fourth, and Teen, the group got first. Now to episode 9, Abby tells the producers to leave, and she was just distraught. And I don't know why Melissa was making fun of Ashley for kissing up to Abby when you were doing the same thing before the show and on the show. Like, let's be honest. Like, if the other moms call it out, fine, because they don't do it, but coming from you is super ironic. So she just annoyed me with that. I thought Maddie was too low on the pyramid here. And Kalani was assigned to a duet with Kendall, but she had to back out because her back, it was just, in such pain she couldn't do it. And so, Jess was clocking something in this episode. I wrote that down. And Kira tells Kalani not to dance. And Nia steps in for this duet. Ashley argues with the moms. And Nia and Kendall's duet was Grifters. And I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. This duet was bad. It was. And, they just didn't have enough time to rehearse it, because Nia literally stepped in the 11th hour. So it is what it is. But like I said, Nia Kendall duets, something always goes wrong. It's just like their curse. So, it was unfortunate. And she was really upset afterwards. She felt like she let everybody down. And I appreciated Mackenzie for comforting her in their friendship. And Kalani was comforting Kendall. And, they had that moment. Maddie and Bryn had their duet together as one. The music stopped, and then they finished the duet. And I appreciated Jill for defending Nia in the dressing room. The group was Bittersweet Charity. It's the same music as Chloe and Paige's duet that they had in season 3. And like I said, I hate that duet. It's just uncomfortable to watch. This group dance, however, I liked it. It was one of their better ones. I hated Nia's wig for this. And I think Mackenzie had a wig. Or however Mackenzie had her hair. I don't think I liked how she had her hair either for this dance. Nia and Kendall got second. Maddie and Bryn got first. Group got first. Now into episode 10. The moms didn't show up for Pyramid besides Ashley. And then they show up later in their pajamas. And that just delayed everything. And so, as the producer said, they couldn't film the girls without their moms being there, and they got so mad for Ashley. They're like, why, when you've helped us, and blah, 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 but I just thought it was stupid, and, kind of didn't really make any sense. And then, in Pyramid, Abby praises Maddie for continuing, and then said that Brynn was following her, but how can she follow her when Maddie was behind her and Brynn was in the front? Like, you just made that up. You made that up. You did the choreography. Like, please. And then at this competition, they have live critiques, and then Jill was talking about this is Kendall's chance to sign. You say that every single week. Brynn has her Black Dahlia solo. I didn't really go up for it. I didn't like the costuming for that either. And so Kendall does Natalie Wood. This is probably one of my favorites that she has done, but no facial expressions ever. And that's one of the things that kind of like irritates me with her. She just never uses her face for the dances for the most part. And Maddie does her Lizzie Borden solo, which is one of her best. And whenever she hits that front aerial, oh shit, like she was so in character. Yeah, this has to be one of the best dances this season, I fear. The group dance was the Cold. I thought it was okay. Brynn got second in junior. Kendall got second in teen, Maddie got first in teen, and the group got first. Now into episode 11. Mackenzie was in Pittsburgh to do a competition with the other studio, so she's not in this episode. Maddie goes to the People's Choice Awards, and then Ashley talks about the rumors that Maddie's not going to be coming back for next season, and then Melissa lies, as she does multiple times this season, and just in general. Abby moved Nia up on the pyramid, and Abby does invite Brynn to the People's Choice Awards, and then I don't know why she let the moms bully her to be uninvited, because she never is that type of person. Like, she just does whatever she does, and she doesn't really care what everyone else has to say. So then she just uninvited her, and then she invited Kalani. She's like, I couldn't do that to her, I'm not going. Kendall says no, and then Jill takes the invite. And then Jill says she doesn't explain why Brynn isn't going. Because you guys bullied her, duh. And then Maddie wins the People's Choice Awards. Abby talks to Maddie about the rumors. They get into this argument with one of the mini moms that came for the week, and then she was like, am I one of the only people who has been to the ALDC and left? And then she was like, what about Chloe? And then Melissa was like, you don't know that situation, don't talk about it. So I appreciated Melissa for defending Chloe. Maddie's solo was the People's Choice. I thought it was good. And Abby putting in a duet again after she already had the trio entered in is giving me season 4 flashbacks, really. And so the duet was like two people from our studio doing the Maniacs. I thought it was mid. The mini trio was okay. Group dance this week was the Vultures. I thought it was good. Maddie solo gets first, mini trio gets second, duet gets first, and the group gets first. Now into episode 12. Kira comes back to the studio. There's two trios. And then, so what she does is she has Maddie and Brynn pick who she wants to be in the trios. And not Maddie saying, since all of us can turn. And then she ends up picking JoJo, and then she picks Kendall, and then Brynn picks Kalani and Mackenzie. And I feel like Brynn definitely, had the better selection there. Like, that's probably what I would have went with if I was in that position. So, yeah, I feel bad for Nia, though, the fact that she didn't get to be in one. And, she felt away because, like, I've known these people for all these years, and they're not going to pick me. So, I could feel for her in that moment. And Abby should have gave her a solo. She should have gave her a solo if she doesn't get to be at the trio. Like, that's only fair. And then they shoot this stupid commercial. Abby directs the traffic to do the commercial. And then the group dance is the commercial, which is stupid. And it's actually called Ease on Down the Boulevard. And this has to be one of the worst group dances that they've ever done. I just hated it. I hated the song. I hated the costumes. I hated the choreography. I hated it all. And so the trios... So, the one that Brynn has with Kalani and Mackenzie was called The World Is Ours. I thought that they did good staying together and with the choreography and stuff. I just hated the song. Like, why does Brynn's songs always sound so cheap? The Abby picks, I'll never know. And then the one that Maddie, Kendall, and JoJo did was called Golden Girls, and then Maddie ends up falling out of her turns. The group dance got first, which I felt like it was undeserved, and as people said, at a certain point, the competition started being rigged. And when I see bogus results like this, I'm like, it has to be, because ain't no way you go to a legitimate dance competition and they're giving that BS first. I'm sorry. And then so the dance with Maddie, Kendall, and JoJo ends up getting second, Golden Girls. And then Brynn, Mackenzie, and Kalani's gets first. And then Abby said that, if Brynn won, then she would be a part of the team. So there was kind of pressure there. And then the moms told her that basically they said the wrong numbers for that. So then she confirmed with the judges to make sure everything was right. They were like, no, like, Brynn actually did win, like, everything. And the moms were, like, discrediting the scores and all that stuff. And, like, they got mad about it. Now onto episode 13. So we have a scene, and it's Melissa, Maddie, and Mackenzie in the car, just kind of talking about everything. And not them shushing Mackenzie whenever, like, she was talking about how the moms thought that something about the competition was rigged. I was like, ooh. And Jill's so annoying at this episode. The moms argued at Pyramid. And Ashley was having kind of a moment there. And in the episode, it says that she said that Brynn had a better season than Kendall. But she says that she didn't say that. I mean, producers can definitely edit things. And then I watched Dancemoms Uncovered, and she's pointed out sometimes they put, like, voiceovers or just, like, other parts in, like, it doesn't match the audio. So I don't know what she said. She's never going to reveal it. I don't know if Kendall revealed what she said. But, you know, they got mad. And then Kendall yelled at Ashley and was like, why are you so mean? The girls are crying. All the moms were hating on Brynn's solo. Abby goes to lunch with Maddie and was just kind of talking about, you know, her trajectory with her career and such. And then Melissa talking about anybody else getting special behavior, be for real. Jill and Kendall, you know, left the studio after that argument, basically. And then they end up coming back, I think, in this episode. Moms talk outside about everything. Ashley apologizes. Mackenzie's solo was all I want. I thought it was okay. I didn't really go off for it. Kalani had My Fred Astaire. I thought it was a good solo. I liked it. I don't know why Kalani doesn't have a whole lot of turns in her solos. I thought that she was a good turner, but I mean, that's me. Brynn, The Force Awakens, I didn't go up for it. The group dance was Bowie Still Dancing, a David Bowie tribute. I thought it was good. It's kind of one of the underrated dances for that season. Mackenzie gets second in preteen solo, Brynn gets first in preteen solo, Kalani gets second in teen solo, and the group gets first in teen. Now on to episode 14, no Kalani in this episode. Christy talks to Ashley, and they kind of meet each other, and I can't stand Christy, as I've mentioned. Melissa says that Christy changed her ways and that she liked her more now. Kalani at the bottom of the pyramid I thought was ridiculous. And I don't know why they took forever to update the headshots. Like, I'm pretty sure these are the headshots from last season. So yeah. And then the group dance was Club 42. It made no sense because MJ had nothing to do with baseball. So it was just pointless. Brynn and Sarah get their duet. And Melissa basically said that she would rather go to Drives with Maddie than be at the studio. Abby axes Kendall and Maddie's duet because Maddie had something for Disney and she just wanted it to, like, be her best. So she ended up just saying, like, y'all have to do it another time. And then Jill brings up Maddie potentially leaving. They talk about it. And so Kendall does a duet as a solo by herself, as requested by Abby, but she just got upset because she really wanted to do it with Maddie. Jojo does it by herself. Abby turned it into a solo. And then they got mad at that and everything, and Kendall said she would rather do a duet, and then Abby just yelled at Kendall, and she was like, there's nothing making it a duet, and that's your fault, because you did the choreography. And Jojo, Bad Girl, I think that this is actually her best solo. Like, there was entertainment value. I don't really see this as a Maddie and Kendall duet anyway, so I think it worked better for her solo. Brynn and Sarah duet was called Pop Princess. I don't know why it was called that because of the music, but, you know, I thought it was good for what it was. The group was Club 42. I mean, it was okay, but it just makes no sense. Michael Jackson in baseball, like I already said. And then this, it was so funny to me because they were talking, and then JoJo said, you're either in jail or just visiting. And then Abby was like, we don't talk about jail. JoJo didn't place. Sarah Brynn duet won. Group didn't place. Ashley says something about Melissa leaving again. Josh tries to prod about that, and that's my notes for that episode. Now on to episode 15. Melissa finally reveals that her, Maddie, and Mackenzie are not coming back, and there was a kind of moment there. And basically, I think Maddie said that she learned, like, that morning that they weren't coming back, and then Mackenzie didn't even know, so I kind of feel bad that Mackenzie didn't know because all that, but apparently Melissa thought that she would share the secrets. So there's something there. Abby says Brynn is the new Maddie, which, let's be for real. Melissa goes to brunch with Jill and Holly, and they kind of have a chat. And then this is the one where Kendall and Maddie get assigned a duet again. And then the mom's trying to push this. They've been duet partners for the longest time. They had 2 duets before this in season 3. And they didn't have duets for seasons after this. So they're trying to push that so much. I'm sorry. Like, that just made no sense to me. Maddie and Kalani's duet was Unbreak My Heart. Like I said, they have good technique, but emotionally, like, it's just kind of void in that regard. So that's my thoughts on that duet. Mackenzie and Nia had their duet, The Long Goodbye, which was good. Maddie and Kendall had their Run Baby Run duet, which is great. Like I said, Kendall always dances up whenever she's dancing with Maddie and Kalani. And so I just really enjoyed this duet. And then, you know, she's talking to Kendall and she's like, you need to dance how you dance with Maddie by yourself. Maddie's not going to be here forever. She might not be here tomorrow. I'm just like, why would she say that? And the elite group dance was called Winter's War. I thought it was good. You know, I enjoyed it. And so it was nice to see Maddie and Mackenzie had the lead and, like, all their parts. And Mackenzie got first in junior. Maddie and Kendall duet got second. Maddie and Kalani got first, and the group got second. Now on to episode 16. Abby moves JoJo to the top of the pyramid. And Mackenzie wants to do a hip-hop dance because the other girls got it and she really likes hip-hop, and then Abby's like, no, like, you're not gonna do it, and then she eventually gets it, and so that's something nice. Abby leaves, and I agree with Holly that Abby resents that she's losing control of Melissa and the kids. And I think Ashley said, or one of the moms basically said in the confessional, that like she thought that whenever Maddie moved on, she was gonna take Abby with her, and like realizing that that wasn't gonna happen, that probably took a toll on her as well. Holly talks to Mackenzie, and I can appreciate her, like, giving her that talk and all that stuff and just having motivation. I can appreciate the moms being nice to the other kids and just, like, kind of moments there. And Abby hated on the group dance. And Moms Better Have My Money was that moment. JoJo does Million Dollar Baby. I thought it was mid. Brynn does her freak solo, which was mid. Mackenzie's bully solo was good. And Jess comes for Brynn yet again. The group was Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It was okay. I didn't really go for it a whole lot, but I've seen worse. JoJo 5th, Brynn 4th, Mackenzie 1st, group 1st, and it was nice to see Jill defend Mackenzie. Now on to episode 17. The minis are back. And so, really quickly, I haven't said this yet, but I didn't really go up for the minis being on the show just in general. I felt like Abby's already barely there for the elite competition team. Why bring the minis there? I can't stand the moms. So, yeah, it just really deviated focus from everything. She didn't spend enough time with them to begin with. So, that's kind of my thoughts there. Quick thoughts on the mini moms. So, Sorry, she was Ariana's mom, and I liked her for the most part. She said some things I didn't agree with, but for the most part, she didn't annoy me too much, so I don't really mind her. Tiffany, I already mentioned her earlier. I think she was Alexis's mom. I cannot stand her, especially whenever they did that Callie Cutie dance and just the way that she acted with all the moms and stuff like that. Like, she's actually unbearable. She's one of the worst moms to ever be on the show, and I stand on that. Yolanda is already insane, as I mentioned. I don't like Stacy. She's okay in the beginning, but as the show progresses and just everything gets to her head, she actually gets worse. And her and Yolanda are actually horrible mothers. Like, I just hate them. They're actually insane. And then Carey, Peyton's mom. Yeah, she just had moments I didn't really go up for, so I didn't really like her a whole lot. My thoughts on Lynn, I don't remember whose mom that she was, but I just know that I couldn't stand her, so I don't like her at all either. I think that's my main thoughts on the mini moms. Hopefully I didn't forget any of them, but yeah, I just didn't like them and all their drama and stuff like that. And I wanted to say, it was really annoying to me how they kept thinking that the elite moms and girls were jealous of them. No, they're not. The show started because of them. The show ascended to fame because of them. I watched the show because of them. I don't care about you guys. Lightning is not going to strike twice. Abby is already off of a rocker. She's already, having her thing with the legal moments and stuff like that. She's probably going to jail. We know what happens to Abby. And so Abby is just not there mentally. I don't know why you guys thought that she was going to be able to create something twice with this whole my daughter's going to be the next Maddie thing that I already mentioned earlier. It's not going to happen again. They're not jealous of you. We watch the show because of them. Shut up. Like, they have such a superiority complex. I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. And they were just so rude to the elite moms and thinking that they had to just do everything for them and stuff like that. Do I think that they need to be catty to each other? No. But stop acting like you're better than them and maybe they'll be nicer to you. So, yeah, I just had to rattle that off, but they just really irritated me. And Brynn gets assigned her homeless dancer solo. This was All God's Creatures ripoff. It had a cheap costume. I actually hated this solo. I hated the song. She deserved better. And I don't know why Jess had so much to say about Brynn again. The moms go to breakfast without Ashley. They take the bus to their Fresno competition. Abby does not take the bus with them. Maddie solo was the entertainer. I thought she did the best she could with the choreography that she got, but I don't know. I would have liked to see her do like a lyrical or contemporary solo. I will say that. Brynn Broken Dancer, like I said, it was a reject All God's Creatures. I hated the song. I hated the costume. I hated the choreography, and she just got done dirty. And so there's that. And the moms argue about Ashley talking trash. The mini group was just like Mama said. I thought it was good. I think as you see the minis on the show, they get better at dancing like a group and stuff like that. And then one note I wanted to say is that Abby really annoys me because she constantly talks about all the girls she's trained and stuff like that. She hated on Kathy for poaching students and all these things to be at their studio. But Abby does the same thing. She takes people from other studios like Kalani, like Brynn, and then she puts her name on their back. You did not train these kids. You did not. So she just really annoys me with that. And she did the same thing with the minis, talking about, oh, I'm going to create the next team of blah, 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 when these are kids you didn't train. That takes away from the entire point. The group routine was the Atlantic. I thought it was mid. Brynn got third, Maddie got fourth, mini group got first, teen group got third, and Melissa cleared Lynn because she was doing far too much yet again on her children. Now on to episode 18. So this is Melissa, Maddie, and Mackenzie's last official episode and stuff like that, basically. And Maddie ate, saying that she doesn't think that anybody could replace the junior elite competition team. And exactly. And Abby was just very annoying this episode with how she treated her and Melissa and Mackenzie. And yeah, it was just irritating. And I think it was just her way of kind of trying to be like, I'm done with you before you're done with me. So yeah, but I hated it. And Abby saying she has nothing special planned, like, be for real. Minis get headshots, and then Melissa hating on Ariana's solo that she did for her brother was so distasteful. It really was, and, Melissa's behavior in that regard was shameful. It really was. I get it for last week, but, just be respectful. Just be respectful. That's all I'm saying. And so, with it being their last week, I don't think that the minis should have been here. I think the minis could have waited a week, but, Melissa was just foul for her behavior there. The moms have brunch with Ashley this time. She's thankful to be included. Mini moms are stupid, like I already said. I'm tired of all the jabs at Maddie and Mackenzie this episode that Abby takes. Ariana's solo for my brother was good. She was probably one of the better MIDI dancers. I thought she had really good technique. Mackenzie's solo was Hero. I thought it was good. It just did not fit for her final solo to be on the show. Like, Abby could have given her something way better. And Maddie does her solo, The Hostage, which ate. I really liked that solo. She was in character. Abby's pep talk was trash. The mini group was Kiss Kiss, the same music from Kendall's solo that happened a few seasons ago, and Kendall assists with Gianna. I thought it was good for what it was. And so group dance was Boss Ladies. This 8. I think it's a great send-off for Maddie and Mackenzie. I like it. And a lot of people don't go for it. I don't know why. I really like this dance. It's one of the better dances of this season for sure. One of my favorite dances they've done, somewhere in there. Ariana got second. Mackenzie didn't place. Maddie got first in senior solo. The minis got first. The group got first in senior group. Holly asked Abby for notes on the next chapter. She doesn't have any, and Abby was just annoying. And saying as your teacher saw mistakes, like, why are you giving them corrections when you know that this is their last competition? So there was something there. And at the competition, they had a moment for Maddie and Mackenzie just having there. So yeah, a lot of times I feel like they focus on the fact that Maddie was leaving the show and not giving Mackenzie her flowers, which does annoy me. Now on to episode 19, the reunion. This is basically just with the moms, I think. Melissa lies yet again. I appreciate Holly for standing up for Maddie and Mackenzie because they deserve that. And I agree that Maddie cannot be replaced. Abby is just irritating in this episode as per usual. I don't know why the mini moms are there. I just didn't feel like the time or place. Like, you guys were barely on the show. And then Jess brings up how Chloe booked a job for a movie a week that Abby wasn't there, and Abby's like, I'm not really allowed to talk about her. And then they talk about Melissa taking care of Kalani, and they argued about this in one of the episodes basically because they told Kira that it was just putting too much stress on Melissa, and then Melissa went to the hospital, and then Kira's like, well, that's a horrible person if she's basically telling me everything's fine, and then it's really taking a toll on her. So they argued about that, and then they basically just reflect on the journey, and then the moms say kind messages to her. So that's the moms reunion. Episode 20, this was the girls only reunion. So I don't know why they would ask her who is going to be the next Maddie, because there isn't one. Like, she can't be replaced, and that's just period. And then they have farewell videos from like Gino and Kathy and all these things. They reference Chloe somewhere in here. JoJo shows her new song Boomerang. They show flashbacks. Something that annoys me is, why do they show them the same flashbacks 8 billion times this season? Like, if you're gonna show the first introduction to the show, show them to all of it once. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do it multiple times, and that kind of annoys me. The girls get final words, and then they have this Todrick Hall song moment in episode 21. This was a Maddie and Mackenzie say goodbye special. So this was basically Maddie, Mackenzie, and Abby like all talking together and just reflecting. And Abby said that their dad went to school with Abby, and that's how he found out about them. And then they talked about Pyramid, and I really don't get how Pyramid could be 3 or 4 hours. Like, even just thinking about it, I don't get how it takes so long. I really don't. And then they denied having extra privates, which, like, it was proven that was true. That's all I'm saying. And Mackenzie ate, saying that fame got to Abby. And one funny moment in this is whenever they were talking about Abby, Maddie was talking about how she always went to McDonald's, and Mackenzie thought it was strange. So they're like, no, like, that's really where she goes. And then them acting like they're not going to say goodbye and that Abby's always going to be part of their life is just really funny to me. And I just wondered how they, like, finally got away from Abby. Like, I wonder if they just, like, slowly stopped talking to her, like, what happened in regards to that. But yeah, like, they were really done after this moment. I have to respect them because, you know, they went through so much in this moment. Now on to episode 22. So this was another reunion girl talk. So this was basically just the remaining girls and, you know, setting the scene for the second half of this season, essentially. Kendall clocked Abby for not wanting to release her music. Nia said that Abby came to her high-strung premiere, which she wasn't expecting. The girls performed this Walking Dead-inspired routine. It's called Dead Girls Walking. I didn't really go for it. And they talked to some super fans. Nia performs her new song Here For You, which I thought was good. And the minis come to the reunion, and I just wish that they would have had a section for the elite team and then the minis, because having them mixed all there and then I just didn't like it. And Kalani choreographed the minis to dance to Electricity, but it was more age appropriate, so, you know, that's shown. The mini dads speak over video. They perform again. The elite team dads come on, they do trivia with the girls and the moms, just having them finish quotes. And they talked trash about Abby a little bit and then acted like they were going to bring Abby on. They didn't. And then they did this last dance called Shout Out, which was just mid. Now into episode 23, the moms argue, and it's just not going to change much of the whole situation with Abby and all those things, like I kind of said, like last season. Like, she's going to treat your child how she's going to treat your child. Like, don't expect too much from Abby at this point. Bryn and Ashley and Abby went to Europe during the break, and then Holly wasn't going to be at the competition for some reason, and then Abby offering to take Nia, and she was like, actually, no, like, we have plans with Carey and Kalani, but, thank you, and they were kind of shocked. I don't know why Jill was bringing up Ashley crying and saying that we can't walk away whenever things get tough, whenever you did that. So that was just really annoying. And then Kendall and Will have this duet. It's called Beg, Borrow, and Steal, and he ate her up so bad in the duet. I don't know why Yachty's mom lied to Abby and said that Bryn didn't want to do the duet when that never happened. And the girls told her, like, Bryn never said that. And then their duet was called Scary Sweetheart. It was mid to me, and then she slipped that apart. The group dance was the Saints, which was mid. They had these boys join the dance. Bryn and Yachty got fourth. And then Kendall and Will got third. And Jill saying she would have loved first overall for that performance. Let's be for real. Group got first, and Jill was just being annoying, so she needs to shut up. Jess and Jill were just irritating me, and Bryn was trying to explain, and you wouldn't even let her. Like, you guys are just making assumptions, and she was actually the one there. So let her speak for once. I get you guys hate her, but let her speak. Like, it was her moment. And so Holly, I don't know why she didn't defend Bryn. Like, if you felt like the moms were wrong, then why wouldn't you defend her? I'm sorry. Like, why are you just gonna sit back? Now on to episode 24. So they finally got new headshots besides Kendall and Kalani, which I didn't get why they didn't get new headshots. And then the moms basically said that they want better training for their girls again. Nia's manager comes to rehearsal and talks to Abby. And then this is the episode where Holly says, "Hush your mouth. You are a class act." And so Abby abandons them yet again at the competition, really. Like, she was just in the audience doing her own thing, so Jess steps in to help because she has her own dance studio and all those things. And then, so for the trios, Abby's Angels, it was Kalani, Jojo, and Kendall, and I liked the trio. And then Nia had her own trio with two boys called Love Anyone You Want To, and I thought that they did good. The group dance was called Wax Madonnas. I thought it was mid, and I think one of the moms said they just didn't really connect with their characters. It wasn't giving. Abby's Angels got seconds, and then Nia's trio actually ended up getting first. The group got second, and then the moms tell Abby that they felt abandoned by her, and I think Abby got offended by that, but I mean, objectively, you weren't there. You were in the audience eating popcorn, like, be for real. Now on to episode 25, Stacy joins. Like I said, I can't stand her. Abby had surgery on her leg, I think, so she had to take it easy, and Jess clocked Abby. Tiffany, like I said, I can't stand her. And Jess gets her friend who worked with Prince to go to the studio and talk to them about the group dance because it was Prince inspired. And then Nia has her duet with Kendall, basically, but then she just was sick, so she asked Abby if they could postpone the duet. And then Kendall was like, "Oh, can I just do the duet with Kalani?" So then what Abby does is she just kind of restructures the duet because it was supposed to be about Lady Gaga and Beyonce, but she just changed it to be called Disconnected. It was just about phones and telephone cords and all this stuff. And Kira told the mini moms to get out so they could finish their number because they were arguing about something. And then Tiffany saying that they deserved to be in the dressing room with the Elise. And it's like, if Abby told y'all to go to a different dressing room, then go to a different dressing room. Like, y'all have not earned it. And they just argued about something. And then Kendall telling Kalani she's sorry she got thrown into the dance. You asked her to be a part of the dance. That's all I'm saying. And so their duet, I just thought it was kind of mid. I didn't really go up for it. Abby's had moments of good choreography, but this season, it's not looking good in my opinion. I'm sorry. Jojo and Bryn had a duet called Mirror Image. I thought it was meh. I mean, I thought they did what they could, but I didn't really go for it. Ariana got the crown for the mini group routine. That's what the moms argued about all week. And Alexis's mother, Tiffany, was so sure she was going to get it, and then she didn't. And then she got mad saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter because she stole the show." And it's like, why would you be so disrespectful? Like, and then the mini dance was called Cali Cuties, which I thought was good. The late group dance was called Purple Fame. It was mid with that Prince knockoff song. And Kendall and JoJo were late multiple times in the routine. Like, I saw that. So that's something there. JoJo and Bryn got first preteen solo. Kendall and Kalani got first in teen. Minnie got first. Group got seconds. And there's that. Now into episode 26. And I don't know why JoJo and Bryn were so low on the pyramid when technically they won their duet. And then Jess was so upset she took JoJo photo off pyramid. And this is whenever Abby started incorporating the minis with the Elise. And I thought it was stupid for them to be incorporated. So I agreed with the moms basically asking for the minis to have their own pyramid. So she agrees, and then they started having their own pyramids. And then they basically were going to have this senior citizen routine with like walkers and stuff. And then they were like, we're not doing it. So they scrapped the routine. And then Bryn and Kalani had a duet. I don't remember what it was called. I just didn't really go up for it. Nia and Kendall had Pop Stars. It was mid. And then this is whenever Nia's straps break. So they always have bad luck. They always have bad luck. I thought it was way better than the Grifters duet that they did. But I think their best duet is probably Pieces Together. I think that was like season 4. But yeah, I don't really go for the duets as mentioned. And then the elites weren't being mean to the minis as the moms were claiming. The mini group was called Wait For Me Mom, which is good. The elite group routine, which the girls ended up choreographing with Gianna, is called Why Wait. And they had like these like white costumes on. And it was just a really good group routine. I really liked the music for it and the choreography. Like it was mature. So I'm glad that they scrapped what Abby had and did their own thing. Nia and Kendall got third. Kalani and Brent got second. The mini group got first. And the elite group routine ended up winning. Now on to episode 27. Nia was at the top of the pyramid, well deserved. Bryn and Lily had their duet called The Bad Seed, and it was alright. It was alright. I mean, I thought that they did good technically. It's just the music again. It just really irritated me. And then so Eliana and JoJo had a duet called Fan Favorite, and then Eliana forgot a part and they ended up finishing it there. And not Eliana saying that something about like Selena and her mother's name was Yolanda, and we know Yolanda ended up killing Selena. Like that was crazy. And I don't know why the mini moms expected the elite girls to do their makeup. Like why would they do that? Why wouldn't you do your own kids' makeup? Like they have their own routine to do at the end of the day. And I don't know why Abby thought like that would be okay for them to do. The mini group was called My Merry Business. It was just kind of mid in my opinion. The elite group was end of the road. It was okay. Bryn and Lily got second. I don't know how JoJo and Eliana got first. The mini group got first, and then the group got fifth. Now on to episode 28. Abby's hair at Pyramid was trash. I don't know why Abby did the switch for Eliana at the Pyramid. I thought it was kind of messed up. And she basically said the Binnies won because you guys had no one else to compete with. Like, there was no other group, so obviously they had to give you that win. And then for Kendall's solo, Cold and Clear, she said it was a Kalani type of solo. Then why didn't you give Kalani the solo? Why did you give it to Kendall? That doesn't make any sense. Jill officially fires Abby as her manager. And then they said they were going to have somebody else run the group if Abby wasn't going to do it. There's an article on Carey scamming people, which they mentioned, and how she got arrested for theft and fraud. And there was a discrepancy with adding in the routines of the competition. They argue about that. I don't know why Kalani didn't have a good costume for her routine. Like, that just really irritated me. And so Kira really seems to not care about it. Like, she's just going through the motions. And I think that's what they said. Like, after the pregnancy and all that stuff, she just didn't want to be there at some point. So she didn't really want to argue. But she literally just went out there with, like, a bra and, like, shorts and, like, called it a day. And she just deserved a costume. And JoJo's Ferocious solo was mid. Kalani's solo was called On the Edge of My Seat. It was just mid. I mean, she performed it good, but she deserved better. Kendall's Cold and Clear was mid. It just fell flat for me. Her moms argue with Abby over Kalani not having a costume, and Kira just kind of checked out. She wasn't really having that moment. The elite group routine was called Minecraft. It was just mid to me. Kendall got 7th, Kalani got 4th, and, you know, Kira was upset about this, and then she basically admitted that the moms were right about the solo, that she deserved a better solo and costume, and she even tells Abby that. I think JoJo didn't place, and the group gets first. Now it's episode 29. Abby's saying don't count on any more solos, like, let's be for real. And the fact that she had such a long period without solos after Maddie left, I'm just like, give them the solos. Like, you always say you want them to be better. How they're going to be better on stage if you don't give them more opportunities for that? And then Jesselyn saying JoJo wants to be the next Kim K. That was kind of confusing to me. And this is the one where JoJo was supposed to do the ballet duet with Kendall, but then she pulled out of it because she just wasn't really into ballet. Like, that wasn't really her forte. And then she got the opportunity with Nickelodeon, so yeah, she just leaves the show. This is it. And Kendall and Kalani end up doing push and pull. I thought at 8, it was a really nice routine. Kendall stepped into the plate. Nia and Bryn did War and Peace. It was good for what it is. Mini group was Invincible, which was mid. The elite group routine was Suicide Hotline, which I thought was great and really bringing awareness to that topic as well. So I like that group routine. Mini group got first, group got first and teen. Bryn and Nia got third, and Kendall and Kalani got first. Now on to episode 30. There's no pyramid this episode. And Debbie Allen was talking to Abby about, you know, her studio and stuff like that. And she was like, I want to get together because I don't know, like, what's happening with that and the girls and all that stuff and whatever. Abby takes kids to a picnic. And so now we're at the competition. Liliana has her step-by-step solo. I thought it was good. Bryn had Left of the Altar, which was mid. The mini group was Gossip Girls, which was okay. The elite group routine was Picnic in the Park. And I kind of agree with the moms. It's like the girls were set up to fail because having that big blanket, you have to sprawl it all the way across the stage. Like, how do you expect that was going to happen? So they were just kind of set up. It was okay. I didn't really go for it. Minis got first, Elites got second. Liliana was first for her solo. Bryn got first. The Minis officially get their jackets. And Abby's bragging about the Minis getting a higher score whenever you set up the Elites to fail, basically, and you spent way more time with the Minis. Like, let's be for real. Now on to episode 31. Abby spends all her time with the Minis yet again. The moms and the girls decide that they're going to axe the boxing group dance that Abby had because they just felt like it was really boring. And they just asked to do the commercial group dance with the guy who choreographed that. And they said Abby had to approve it. And Abby did approve it, but she was basically offended at that. And then we see this shoes commercial that they did. And Abby critiqued the commercial talking about this is what I would have done. I think Jill or one of the other moms said that's basically rude because you didn't ask what your opinion was. Payne and Liliana have a duet. It's called Sting Like a Bee, which I thought was good. And so I don't understand why Abby invited the two girls' moms and those girls to the competition anyways when they told you that they weren't going to do the routine. Why would you invite them? And then basically the moms are saying, like, let's incorporate them into the routine anyways, and like just like a little part at the end. So there's that. And then they wanted to have these boys in the routine, and then Abby tried to disqualify them. And then whenever the judge said, like, oh, they can't do it because Abby said no, and then she lied. Oh, I said that they could do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, you just lied. And so the elite group was called the Champs. It was good for what it was. It was basically that commercial with the shoes. The girls didn't go on. They just got nervous. The extra girls, by the way. And at this competition, they only award first overall, which why would you go to a competition that does that? Mini duet wins, mini group gets first, and the group lost. Now on to episode 32. The moms were just so upset at what happened the previous week and Abby just not giving them enough attention that they go to 3rd Street. They met up with Erin Babs. They posted it on Instagram. The mini moms found out, Erin Babs was going to be working with them for that week, and she did MVP, who beat them a few times and, made great routines. Abby was sobbing and upset. Alice Khalees asked Nia to sing with her, and Holly asked, like, hey, like, can we pull Kendall into this? And Jill's thankful for that. Nia goes to record her new song, and Nia and Kendall go rehearse with Alex Khalees. And then Abby dragging Kalani for getting 4th. Well, maybe you should have gave her better choreography, and she should have won. And agreed with the mom who was saying that why did her daughter get the trash glued to her costume? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And then the moms and kids catch up, the mini moms and all that, and they just kind of talk about that moment. And then Abby showed up to Nia and Kendall's performance, and she was just being rude. And Nia performs her new song, which sounds good, and then they perform Cry together. Now to episode 33. So Carey thought that the mini moms were going to stand up for her and the whole thing with the costume, and then they didn't, and she was hurt by that. Kendall hurt her neck, and she had to pull her solo that she had choreographed. Carey comes to talk to them, and then Ashley was like, well, if you compete with us, we'll let you change the costume and all the stuff, and she agrees. Eliana's solo was called Sing For You, was mid. Alexis had Infected Spirit as her solo, which was mid. Peyton's I Love Trash, it was okay, hated the song. Bryn's solo was Love Cycle, which was really good. It's definitely one of her better solos. It might be her best solo because finally someone choreographing to her strengths and not giving her a weak choreography and a weak song and a weak costume. Like, finally. Kalani had False, which is one of her best solos in a bit. I really enjoyed it. And Abby saying she had no comments for the girls, let's be for real. The mini routine was gone, I think. And it was alright. I liked it for what it was. The elite group was called And Then There Was One. And this ate one of the best routines this season. I thought it was so cool with the concept. Erin Babs did what had to be done, I fear. Alexis got 3rd, Payne got 2nd, Eliana got 1st, Bryn got 1st in pre-teen solo, Kalani got 2nd in teen, which I'm shocked that she didn't win, and then Daviana, I believe from season 7, beat her, and then Abby's clapping for her, and then Kira was mad at that, like, why would you cheer for someone who beat your student? Mini group got 1st, the elite group got 3rd in teen, so there was that moment. And then Jill clocked Abby for making those girls come in the previous episode that I talked about to that competition. Like, they already told you they didn't want them to be in that routine because they changed the routine, basically. So, yeah, that was annoying. Okay, so in terms of my favorite routines this season, for the solos, for Maddie, I definitely have to give it to the Lizzie Borden solo, just the way she was able to stay in character, and the front aerial, and the choreography, like, it was outstanding, basically perfection, so I have to give it to that. In terms of the duet, I have to give it to her duet with Kendall that she did. I just thought that it was absolutely stunning, and so that was great. And then I also really liked Kendall and Kalani's push and pull duet. For the group routine, I have a few. So obviously Boss Ladies has to be in there somewhere. I also really liked And Then There Was One, as I mentioned. So overall, I think those are kind of the ones that like stood out the most to me. Honorable mention to Kenzie's Eat Chips solo, because I thought that was fun to watch, like, for what it was. It had entertainment value, so those are like my favorite routines this season. Now on to my overall thoughts on this season. So Abby started checking out even harder due to the lawsuit and the stress from that. She started doing it last season, barely showing up to competition competitions and stuff like that. Like, she had moments there. This season, I felt like she even got worse, and I feel like part of that is also due to the fact that Maddie and Mackenzie left this season, and so she was probably stressed about that as well. So it's just unprofessional, and she just really started annoying me because, oh, why do the moms want to know where I'm at? But if they did the same thing to you, you would feel away. So it's just irritating. And the group routine just fell off a cliff this season, just in terms of the strength of the group routine. And what I mean by that is just the strength of Abby's choreography and the concepts. Like I said, I feel like she was getting lazy, reusing concepts, giving them mediocre choreography and costuming and stuff like that. And I feel like the group routine had its most strength in season 4. It fell off so hard in season 5. I barely liked any of the group routine then. And then it got even worse this season. So Abby choreography, it's just getting really subpar at this point, especially with the solo. Like I said, Brynn deserved better choreography. Kalani deserved better choreography. Mine, all of them really did, but I felt like they just really were not being utilized to their strengths in terms of the choreography and all those moments there. So the choreography here definitely does get weaker in my opinion. Like I said, I don't care for the mini inclusion, as already mentioned. It's easier to watch than season 5, but it's not great. Like, I started getting bored here and just, like, you know, being on my phone and doing other stuff while I let the show play in the background. Like, sometimes when the moms argued, like, it was just really annoying. And like I already mentioned, the way that they treated Brynn this season, I just thought was horrible. It really was. Like, you don't like Ashley, but, I mean, just coming for the kids so hard, it's really disrespectful. And I actually prefer season 7 to seasons 5 and 6, and whenever I get there, I will explain why. And so I agree that Maddie definitely outgrew the show, and I just feel like she was burned out with everything that Abby put on her, putting her on a pedestal, always making her feel like she has to win. And she even mentioned, like, Abby always expects me to win, and like, that's really stressful. And you can just tell that she lost a lot of that passion there, and she was just showing up because she had to show up and everything like that, and she was barely there because she had jobs, which I can understand. And so it's just unfortunate, it is. But, you know, Maddie and Mackenzie, Melissa, you know, they moved on at the time that was right for them. And like I said, everyone was so focused on Maddie leaving that they didn't really give Mackenzie her flowers. And I thought that that was unfortunate because Mackenzie brought a lot to her team in, you know, her own way. And I feel like she's actually underrated for what she could do for the group routine. And I liked most of her solos. So they kind of didn't give her enough, in my opinion. And the way Abby handled it was trash, like I already said. And so, yeah, season's not excellent. It's not horrible. It's just like, whenever I think about the excellence of a season 3, a season 4, and then I watch this, the show just gets harder to watch because it just gets worse with all the moms and the drama and all that stuff. And the show just starts basically becoming more about the drama and not the dancing. And whenever we have dancing, a lot of the choreography that Abby does is subpar. And especially after Maddie leaves, she just feels and seems like very uninspired to give them like really cool stuff. Quick thoughts on Jess and Ashley this season. Like I said in my last video, Jess wasn't as horrible in last season as she is this season. All the bullying towards Brynn and just in general this season, I did not really go for her. I barely agree with her, and she's one of my least favorite moms on the show. Ashley, a lot of times I felt like they did too much on her. It was wrong whenever she was talking about Kalani's regrets and some of the stuff that she said about other people's children. I will say that. But I often felt like they were harsher on her than she was to them. So I will say that in regards to this season. And so in general, as I've said, I do not like Ashley. I do not agree with her political beliefs and stuff like that. In season 7, she gets way worse. So I actually can't stand Ashley. Also, I forgot to mention, whenever Kira first come back, she kind of blends into the background. Like I already mentioned, it's probably just because of the pregnancy. She was drained from that. She didn't really want to be there. But it's kind of like I forgot she would be there until like I would see her at Pyramid or something else, because she would just be dead silent. So that's something I wanted to state in regards to that. Like I said, I don't go for Kira a whole lot. There was moments I disagree with her this season for sure. I didn't really like how all the moms ganged up on Brandon. Actually, I thought it was harsh most of the time, as already mentioned. But yeah, she just gets worse in subsequent seasons. Something I forgot to mention last season with JoJo in particular is I hate the kind of turns that they put into her solos. I think they're called pencil turns. I just don't like how they look like aesthetically. And so like, especially in that She Can't Stop solo, like the one that she forgot, like she does that turn so many times. I just hate that type of turn. I really don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but I just can't stand it. I can't. But that is my overall thoughts on season 6 of Dancemoms. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What was your favorite group routine this season? Favorite solos? Favorite moments? Least favorite moments? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know all of those things, and let's continue that conversation. Like I said, I have a video review of all 5 seasons before this, and so you guys can check that out. And I have some other Dancemoms content, like I shared my favorite Maddie and Chloe solos and group routines and stuff like that. So all of my videos on Dancemoms will be linked down below, and I also even talked about the reading too. So you can give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It would help me out a lot in the YouTube algorithm, and I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe if you want to see more Dancemoms content. I'm still going to be reviewing Season 7, and I got multiple videos planned that I want to do after that, and I'm going to rank all the seasons and stuff like that too. So you can subscribe if you want to see more, and then if you hit the bell, you get a notification if when I post, you're not missing when reviews come out. First link down below in the description will be my main channel, a lot of album reviews, reactions, that kind of stuff, so you can check me out over there. Also going to have Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, my earbuds if you would like to follow me. Thank you so much for watching. Free Palestine. I'll see you in my next one.